One morning to find the balance of power in South Asia subtly but decisively altered, not by a single battle, not by a nuclear threat, but by the quiet unveiling of a force designed to strike with speed, precision, and purpose. This is not a distant hypothetical. It is the reality unfolding today as Pakistan steps onto a new strategic stage with its Army Rocket Force Command. The creation of the Army Rocket Force Command, ARFC, in Pakistan marks one of the most significant restructurings of the country's conventional military power in decades, and its implications stretch far beyond a simple organizational shift. Before August 14, 2025, Pakistan's missile and rocket systems existed in a fragmented structure, spread across multiple arms of the military, without a single centralized command to oversee their planning, deployment, and integration into strategic doctrine. While the Strategic Plans Division, SPD, handled the nuclear arsenal, conventional missile capabilities were dispersed between different corps and commands in the Pakistan Army, often leading to slower decision-making, logistical redundancies, and a lack of unified training or operational doctrine. By formally establishing the ARFC, Pakistan has given these systems a dedicated institutional home, an elite formation tasked with the singular mission of managing, coordinating, and operationalizing conventional rocket and missile warfare. This move is not only about efficiency, but also about signaling a new phase in strategic thinking, the separation of nuclear and conventional missile operations to create a cleaner, more flexible response ladder in times of conflict. The timing of this announcement, deliberately tied to Independence Day, adds a symbolic dimension, presenting the ARFC as both a national achievement and a rallying point for military modernization. But this decision did not occur in a vacuum. It was born out of a pressing sense of urgency following the setbacks of Operation Sindoor earlier in 2025, where Pakistan's inability to mount a sustained, precise conventional missile campaign against India's layered air defenses exposed glaring gaps in both capability and coordination. Those lessons seem to have catalyzed the formation of the ARFC, which is modeled in part on the Chinese People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, a structure that has demonstrated how a centralized missile command can greatly enhance both deterrence and warfighting efficiency. The ARFC is expected to oversee Pakistan's growing arsenal of advanced conventional missiles, such as the Fatah series, the Babur cruise missile family, and the shorter-range Nazar tactical systems, ensuring that these assets can be massed, sequenced, and deployed with far greater cohesion than before. This centralization is also likely to accelerate modernization cycles, improve maintenance standards, and refine targeting doctrine, allowing the force to pivot quickly between defensive postures and preemptive strike options, depending on the strategic context. Importantly, the creation of this force also introduces a psychological element into the regional security calculus. For adversaries, the existence of a unified rocket force complicates threat assessment because it reduces the lag time between detection, decision, and launch. For allies and partners, it signals Pakistan's determination to remain competitive in the evolving precision strike era without immediately escalating to nuclear thresholds. The ARFC also offers the Pakistan Army a platform for joint training and wargaming focused specifically on conventional missile warfare, something that previously had to be improvised across multiple commands. Over time, this specialized expertise could create a cadre of officers and crews whose sole operational focus is rocket and missile warfare, enhancing professionalism and operational readiness. The establishment of the ARFC represents a strategic leap in conventional deterrence, operational integration, and military signaling, placing Pakistan's missile forces under one roof with a clear doctrine and a unified chain of command that is capable of responding faster, striking more accurately, and projecting power more credibly across South Asia. The decision to create Pakistan's Army Rocket Force Command is inseparable from the context of recent military setbacks, particularly the events surrounding Operation Sindoor earlier in 2025, which served as a sobering reminder of the vulnerabilities in Pakistan's conventional strike capabilities. In that operation, Pakistan sought to employ a mix of drones, guided rockets, and cruise missiles to neutralize high-value targets across the border, but the outcome fell far short of expectations. India's rapidly improving integrated air defense systems, comprising S-400 batteries, domestically developed Akash variants, and advanced radar networks, were able to intercept or blunt the impact of many incoming projectiles. Furthermore, the scattered nature of Pakistan's missile command structure meant that launches were not fully synchronized, reducing the saturation effect needed to overwhelm enemy defenses. This fragmented operational approach also made it harder to coordinate between different missile platforms, leading to delays in strike sequencing and target re-engagement. For a military accustomed to relying on the deterrent shadow of its nuclear arsenal, this failure in the conventional realm was not just a tactical disappointment, it was a strategic embarrassment, revealing a gap that adversaries could exploit in future confrontations. The political and military leadership recognized that without a credible, coordinated, and modernized conventional missile force, Pakistan risked ceding the conventional escalation ladder to India, leaving fewer options between diplomacy and nuclear use in a crisis. Thus, the ARFC was conceived as both a corrective measure and a proactive step toward ensuring that Pakistan could respond to threats with precision, speed, and overwhelming volume without breaching the nuclear threshold. The creation of this command also serves a psychological purpose. It reassures domestic audiences of the military's adaptability and resolve, while sending a message to external actors that Pakistan is not standing still in the face of India's growing technological edge. Lessons from Operation Sindoor appear to have directly influenced the ARFC's design. Instead of dispersing missile assets among different corps with competing operational priorities, the new command centralizes control, enabling massed salvos that can be coordinated in real time, saturating enemy defenses more effectively. Moreover, this reorganization allows for improved intelligence integration, with the ARFC expected to work closely with Pakistan's space-based and airborne surveillance assets to ensure faster target acquisition and mid-course updates to missiles in flight. The setbacks of earlier in the year also highlighted the need for diversified delivery systems to complicate enemy defense planning, meaning the ARFC is likely to oversee not only traditional road mobile launchers, but also rail, sea-based, and potentially underground launch facilities to increase survivability and strategic ambiguity. In the broader strategic landscape, this is more than just a military fix. It is a geopolitical recalibration. India now faces the challenge of adapting its defensive posture to counter a Pakistan that can launch a coordinated, large-scale conventional missile campaign, raising the stakes in any confrontation. By learning from a high-profile operational failure and responding with structural innovation, Pakistan has positioned the ARFC not merely as a reactionary force, but as a tool for shaping the future military balance in South Asia, ensuring that the next test of conventional arms will not be fought under the same constraints that hampered its performance in Operation Sindoor. Before the creation of the Army Rocket Force Command, Pakistan's conventional missile and rocket assets were scattered across multiple commands within the Pakistan Army, each with its own operational priorities, logistical chains, and communication channels, which often created inefficiencies and slowed down the decision-making process during critical moments. This dispersion meant that a variety of platforms, ranging from short-range battlefield rockets to longer-range ballistic and cruise missiles, were managed under different chains of command, making it difficult to execute a fully synchronized strike campaign. For example, tactical missile systems such as the NASA were often embedded within armored formations for battlefield use, while longer-range systems like the Fatah and Babur families were controlled by artillery or strategic support units. Without a unified command, coordination between these systems in real-time combat conditions required complex inter-branch communication, often resulting in delays that could erode the effectiveness of a precision strike. In high-intensity warfare, where minutes can decide the success or failure of an operation, such delays can be critical. The establishment of the ARFC consolidates these assets under one operational umbrella, ensuring that every rocket and missile platform is part of a single integrated war plan, coordinated by a central headquarters capable of issuing orders directly to all relevant launch units. This centralization offers multiple advantages. First, it allows for the massing of firepower in ways that were not previously possible, enabling the ARFC to deliver concentrated, overwhelming strikes that can saturate even the most advanced air defense systems. Second, it standardizes training and operational doctrine across all missile units, ensuring that crews operate with the same tactical understanding, maintenance routines, and targeting protocols, which not only improves efficiency but also reduces the likelihood of operational mishaps. Third, it allows for a more efficient allocation of resources, from spare parts to targeting intelligence, ensuring that missile units are maintained at peak readiness and can be redeployed quickly in response to emerging threats. Centralization also enhances Pakistan's ability to plan for and execute complex multi-theater operations, where different missile systems are employed in overlapping waves to achieve both immediate tactical effects and longer-term strategic disruption of the enemy's military infrastructure. By placing all conventional missile systems under the ARFC, Pakistan is also able to develop a more cohesive and predictable logistics chain, meaning fuel, ammunition, and maintenance support can be pre-positioned and moved in a streamlined fashion. This level of organization not only increases combat readiness, but also reduces the risk of logistical bottlenecks during prolonged engagements. Having a central command improves integration with intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) assets, ensuring that missile launches are informed by the latest battlefield data and can adapt to changes in target location or priority in real time. The previous decentralized approach often required passing targeting data through multiple layers of bureaucracy, but with the ARFC, the decision-making loop is much shorter, allowing for faster engagement of time-sensitive targets. This centralized structure mirrors models used by technologically advanced militaries, such as China's People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, and reflects a shift in Pakistan's doctrine toward precision, coordination, and flexibility in conventional warfare. By unifying all conventional missile forces under a single focused command, Pakistan not only improves its operational efficiency, but also sends a clear signal to its adversaries that it now possesses the ability to deliver rapid, large-scale, and precisely coordinated conventional missile strikes, capability that significantly alters the tactical and strategic landscape of South Asia. One of the most transformative aspects of Pakistan's Army Rocket Force Command lies in its oversight of enhanced precision and range capabilities, a domain that has rapidly evolved over the past decade and now serves as a cornerstone of modern conventional deterrence. The integration of advanced systems like the Fatah-II and Fatah-IV represents a quantum leap from older, less accurate rocket artillery, transitioning Pakistan's conventional missile arm from an area effect tool into a scalpel capable of striking high-value targets deep within contested or hostile territory. The Fatah-II, with a range of approximately 400 kilometers and a circular error probable (CEP) of less than 50 meters, provides an ability to engage targets with exceptional accuracy, even in environments with advanced countermeasures. This degree of precision allows for strikes against critical infrastructure such as command centers, radar installations, and supply depots without excessive collateral damage, which is essential for both operational effectiveness and political legitimacy during conflict. Its extended reach also enables Pakistan to hold at risk strategic assets located deep within an adversary's territory, potentially forcing the opponent to divert significant resources to defense rather than offense. The Fatah-IV extends this capability even further, pushing the operational envelope to approximately 750 kilometers. This range increase dramatically expands the geographic scope of Pakistan's conventional missile deterrence, allowing it to target not only forward-deployed forces, but also rear-echelon nodes, air bases, and logistical arteries critical to sustaining prolonged military operations. The ability to hit such targets without relying on air power is a decisive advantage, particularly in scenarios where air superiority cannot be guaranteed. Longer ranges also mean greater flexibility in launcher deployment, as missile batteries can operate from deeper within Pakistani territory, making them harder to detect, target, or neutralize in preemptive strikes. This survivability factor enhances the credibility of the deterrent because it ensures that Pakistan could sustain missile operations even in the face of intense enemy suppression efforts. Precision and range also amplify the effectiveness of saturation tactics. Even the most sophisticated integrated air defense systems have limits to how many incoming threats they can track and intercept simultaneously. By coordinating salvos of high-accuracy, long-range missiles, the ARFC can exploit these limits, overwhelming defenses and ensuring that a significant portion of strikes penetrate to their targets. The combination of range, precision, and massed fire also enables Pakistan to conduct complex operational maneuvers, such as simultaneous strikes on multiple targets across different theaters, disrupting the adversary's ability to coordinate its own operations. The enhanced capabilities under the ARFC also have profound implications for escalation management. With such accuracy, Pakistan can conduct limited, carefully targeted strikes that achieve strategic effects without triggering full-scale retaliation, as might happen with more indiscriminate weaponry. This offers a broader menu of conventional options during crises, potentially preventing situations from spiraling directly toward nuclear thresholds. Moreover, precision-guided systems provide psychological leverage. Knowing that an opponent can hit key assets with near certainty from hundreds of kilometers away forces adversaries to reconsider both offensive and defensive planning. Technological advances in guidance systems, warhead design, and propulsion are likely to continue improving these capabilities, especially given Pakistan's growing defense cooperation with countries experienced in missile technology. As these systems mature, the ARFC will be able to integrate them into an increasingly sophisticated operational doctrine, combining long-range precision strikes with other assets like drones, electronic warfare units, and surveillance platforms for maximum effect. In this way, enhanced precision and range are not merely technical upgrades, they represent a doctrinal shift toward a more agile, survivable, and strategically flexible conventional missile force capable of shaping the South Asian military balance in ways that go far beyond raw numbers or payloads. One of the most strategically significant aspects of Pakistan's decision to create the Army Rocket Force Command is the deliberate separation of conventional missile forces from the nuclear command structure, allowing for a clearer, more controlled escalation ladder in times of crisis. Historically, Pakistan's missile capabilities were perceived primarily through the lens of nuclear deterrence, with ballistic missiles serving as delivery systems for nuclear warheads under the management of the Strategic Plans Division, SPD. This structure, while effective in deterring existential threats, created a strategic ambiguity that was both a strength and a vulnerability, strength because it kept adversaries guessing, but vulnerability because any missile launch risked being interpreted as a nuclear move, potentially triggering catastrophic miscalculation. By establishing the ARFC as a purely conventional missile force, Pakistan is signaling a shift toward giving itself more flexible response options, where the use of missiles does not automatically escalate to the nuclear threshold. This separation is crucial for crisis stability, as it allows policymakers and military planners to engage in calibrated, proportionate retaliation without crossing the most dangerous red lines. From a doctrinal perspective, this development is transformative. It means that in a limited border conflict or in response to a targeted strike, Pakistan can employ precision-guided rockets and missiles for conventional purposes without being accused of preparing for a nuclear exchange. This is particularly important given the growing relevance of sub-conventional and limited war doctrines in the region, where both India and Pakistan seek to achieve strategic objectives without triggering full-scale war. A dedicated conventional missile command allows Pakistan to respond to such threats with speed and force while maintaining a credible nuclear deterrent in reserve for only the most extreme scenarios. It also removes the burden on the SPD to manage both nuclear and conventional arsenals, allowing it to focus solely on nuclear readiness, while the ARFC develops its own operational doctrine, logistics, and training tailored for non-nuclear missions. This separation also impacts how adversaries perceive Pakistan's military posture. With the ARFC in place, India can no longer assume that every missile movement or deployment is tied to nuclear escalation, complicating its threat assessment and potentially deterring preemptive actions. At the same time, it forces India to prepare for a broader range of scenarios, including sustained conventional missile salvos that could cripple forward-deployed units, radar installations, and supply lines without breaching nuclear deterrence thresholds. This conventional flexibility could also make Pakistan more willing to act decisively in the early stages of a conflict, knowing it has a credible non-nuclear strike capability that is both powerful and politically justifiable. Operationally, having a separate conventional missile command opens the door to more frequent training exercises, live-fire drills, and doctrine development without the political sensitivities that surround nuclear-capable units. This enables the ARFC to refine tactics for massed rocket artillery barrages, long-range precision strikes, and integrated operations with other branches, such as air and naval forces, in ways that would have been diplomatically and strategically riskier under a nuclear umbrella. It also facilitates more open collaboration with foreign partners on technology transfer, system upgrades, and targeting methodologies, since conventional missile development is less restricted by international non-proliferation regimes than nuclear-capable missile programs. In the broader strategic picture, separating conventional and nuclear deterrence is a hallmark of mature military planning. It mirrors the doctrinal evolution seen in other advanced militaries, where distinct commands handle different rungs of the escalation ladder to avoid unintended consequences. For Pakistan, this shift is not just about creating a new command, it is about building a more credible, sustainable, and politically manageable deterrent posture that preserves nuclear weapons as tools of last resort, while enhancing the country's ability to fight, win, and contain conflicts in the conventional domain. By doing so, Pakistan strengthens both its warfighting credibility and its diplomatic leverage, ensuring that in the complex chessboard of South Asian security, it retains the initiative without gambling recklessly with the ultimate weapons in its arsenal. The creation of Pakistan's Army Rocket Force Command carries implications that go far beyond organizational reform or technical upgrades. It is, at its core, a message to the region and the world about Pakistan's intent to shift the military balance in South Asia and redefine the contours of deterrence. Strategically, it is a direct counterweight to India's rapid expansion of its missile programs, air defense networks, and integrated battle doctrines. Over the past decade, India has made significant strides in acquiring systems like the S-400, developing indigenous ballistic and cruise missile technology, and modernizing its integrated battle groups, IBGs, for faster mobilization and coordinated strikes. In this environment, Pakistan's ARFC emerges not as an isolated military project, but as part of a larger strategic signaling effort. One that says Pakistan is willing and able to meet India's advancements with a coherent, unified missile force capable of sustained, precise and survivable conventional strikes. The regional implications are heightened by the ARFC's close resemblance to the Chinese People's Liberation Army rocket force, a model known for combining large-scale missile arsenals with highly centralized command structures to maximize speed, coordination, and flexibility. Pakistan's growing defense relationship with China makes this resemblance more than coincidental. It suggests a deliberate alignment in both technology and doctrine. Joint exercises, technology transfers, and training exchanges are likely to deepen as Pakistan seeks to integrate Chinese-inspired command and control methods with its indigenous missile systems. This not only improves Pakistan's own capabilities, but also strengthens its position in a broader geopolitical framework where China's strategic interests in South Asia are increasingly intertwined with Pakistan's security posture. The ARFC also serves as a powerful instrument of deterrence through ambiguity. While its mission is conventional, its existence forces adversaries to factor in the possibility of rapid escalation should a conflict spiral beyond limited objectives. The ability to launch massed, precision-guided rocket and missile strikes from multiple platforms across a wide range creates an unpredictable battlefield environment for any opponent. This unpredictability is compounded by the fact that the ARFC will likely integrate with Pakistan's Air Force, Navy, and cyber units for multi-domain operations, making it more difficult for adversaries to anticipate or counter its moves effectively. From a diplomatic perspective, the creation of the ARFC could alter how regional and extra-regional actors engage with South Asian security issues. Allies and partners who previously viewed Pakistan's missile capabilities primarily through the lens of nuclear deterrence may now see a more nuanced military actor with a sophisticated conventional strike capability. This can open new avenues for security cooperation, military sales, and joint training with countries that are comfortable supporting conventional capabilities but hesitant to engage with nuclear-armed units. It also allows Pakistan to participate in international security dialogues about precision strike, conventional deterrence, and arms control from a position of technological and doctrinal credibility. Regionally, the ARFC forces India to reassess its military planning. It must now prepare for a Pakistan that can launch large-scale missile operations without invoking nuclear retaliation, which could force India to invest even more heavily in its air defense network and long-range strike capabilities. This dynamic could spark a new phase in the regional arms race, with both sides seeking to outpace each other in missile technology, countermeasures, and operational doctrine. However, it also has the potential to create a form of stability based on mutual recognition of each other's conventional strike power, leading to more caution in initiating hostilities. Ultimately, the ARFC is more than a new command. It is a strategic signal, a technological leap, and a doctrinal evolution all in one. It tells the region that Pakistan is not content to play a reactive role in the face of India's military modernization. Instead, it is proactively shaping the battlefield calculus, ensuring that in any confrontation, limited or otherwise, it possesses the tools, the organization, and the strategic depth to protect its interests, deter aggression, and influence the military and political tempo of South Asia on its own terms. The Army Rocket Force Command is not just a military reorganization, it is a statement of intent. It signals that Pakistan will no longer leave its conventional strike power scattered and reactive, but will instead consolidate, modernize, and sharpen it into a force capable of shaping outcomes before conflicts spiral beyond control. By combining enhanced range, pinpoint accuracy, centralized command, and a clear separation from nuclear doctrine, the ARFC gives Pakistan the means to deter, respond, and prevail in ways that are both strategically disciplined and operationally decisive. To its adversaries, it is a warning that the days of exploiting conventional gaps are over. To its allies, it is proof of a nation willing to invest in credible, measured power. And to the region, it is a reminder that the balance of military influence in South Asia is not fixed. It can shift, evolve, and even be redefined when a nation decides to take control of its own strategic destiny.